All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you, Cece, for grabbing first and getting me a hydrate right off the bat. Thank you for grabbing second link. And for the lurk. And Cowboy, thank you for grabbing third. And I will go ahead and pop that jelly baby. I think it's coconut. Is it a coconut one? Yep, it's coconut. I hate coconut. Like, I really fucking hate coconut. I really don't like coconut. I don't know why. I just never liked it. Ugh, I hate it. It's gross. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and unmute my companions so they can say hi as well. Say hi, everyone. Ugh,
I didn't know you were a coconut hater.
I don't like the taste. No. And she's throwing another jelly baby at me.
I was say, just give me all your coconut later.
I'd give you my coconut jelly babies, but the whole part of the jelly babies is to make me suffer a little bit. Ooh, I like this one. This one will be good. I'm gonna rinse out the coconut with a little bit. Because it's not like, it's candy coconut. It's not like good coconut. It's like candy coconut.
Oh, the candy coconut can be a little too.
It's too sweet. And I don't like coconut in general. I can tolerate it, though. Like, it's not my favorite flavor. But coconut jelly beans are just, ugh. Alright, this one's pear. Oh, that one's so much better. I love the pear ones. Yes, thank you for the redo, CC. Alright, so, we are back. Are we going to do the roll for the recap again?
I mean, we could do the roll for the recap, or other people could, just choose to do it if you want to.
Recap it because I have fun things.
Sure, just give me 1 second here.
Yeah, one second,
let me put on some good music.
Go for it, Golby.
I only think it's like great for Golby to do the recap mainly because of bagpipe.
But that wasn't the only thing that happened in the bath.
Hey, Archon, welcome in. Thanks for the lurk. Coconut is fine, except when it's the main thing. Looking at you, Mounds, you are not.
I just wanted to. No one was going to intrude upon me.
Yes, we will all be silent so that our good man Golby, the epic bard that he is, can do the recap.
Are we ready for my recap?
Yeah.
Okay. So, last time when we picked up, we started off in a swamp. And my god, it took us too long to get out of there. Like, too long. We were fighting these wooden lizard creatures and also fireflies, and it took a long time to get out of there. But we did it. We made it. We hopped on some giant lily pads, rode down the river. Tuk'Tuk almost died. I saved them with my whip and my epic dance moves, while Yai'ral graciously hugged onto her lily pad. And then we made our way back to Dryrust. Found out that we had not been gone for 2 days, but about a week and a half. We were tired. We wanted to relax a little bit before we started trying to find out what was going on. So we went to the bathhouse and we all treated ourselves. Tuk'Tuk was feeling down because Tuk'Tuk had lost many feathers in the fights and needed some rejuvenation. Yai'ral begrudgingly indulged a little bit too. I ran into an old flame by the name of Julian from episode 1 after I tried to shove bagpipes up my ass. Him and I had a very emotional moment, and then we had hot, nasty sex. And that is about where we ended last time. We are now going to the apothecary and the alchemist to gear
Oh
up
my god.
and also get some information. This has been Story Time with Golby Gibertson. Come back next week to hear more.
Actually, don't come back next week because we're taking a week off next week.
Don't
Oh
come back
my
next
God.
week. Come back the next week.
Tuk'Tuk did almost
Maybe
become
I'll
KFC.
up my ass again.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, came back to poach.
I'm still not over the bagpipes. I have you know, I have like when that was happening, I could not speak. I started crying. I was screaming into a pillow because I just could not.
Okay,
Oh
well,
my god.
I am gonna cut in here.
Yeah, hi Snoop.
And so, to
Oh
make
my God.
things a little bit easier, since Foundry is a little bit weird with tracking things, and it's kind of hard to update D&D Beyond from Foundry, but it's really easy to update Foundry from D&D Beyond. I would love for all the players to track whatever abilities, whatever spell slots you use, all of your items. If you could just track those on D&D Beyond, then I can update Foundry periodically while we're playing or after each session, and it'll just be a lot easier than trying to update D&D Beyond from Foundry. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that.
Yes.
All right.
I'm very familiar with D&D Beyond. I use it all the fucking time.
Good. You better.
I'm a first time user, I'm baby.
Me too.
We're both babies.
I just sit here and I look pretty. I'm not expected to know things.
It's okay.
Are we
So-
still going to be rolling via Foundry?
We're still going to be rolling via Foundry, but literally just like spell slot tracking, golds tracking, item tracking, you know, uses of bardic inspiration tracking. Just track it on D&D Beyond
Yeah.
rather than Foundry. Or you could do both simultaneously if you want to. It's a lot easier to update Foundry from D&D Beyond than the other way around.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Alright, I have to like,
I'm glad I'm not moving.
take a breath
glad
and
I
get into
went.
character. God. You missed the potatoes. I didn't miss them. I guess Snoop missed the potatoes.
No, in my
Well-
recounting, I didn't talk about. So when we showed up in town, it was the Dryrust Potato Festival, and and we were sucking down potatoes.
Yeah, I mean, you guys haven't actually eaten any potatoes yet. But after exiting the We Trust, though the sign is a bit wonky, the Wet Rust bathhouse, you step out in the open air, and you've been in there for a bit. You know, you had your good about an hour, maybe a little bit longer, of relaxation, hanging out in the conditioned air, staying relatively cool compared to the outside temperature. And that is quite apparent from various gusts of wind blowing through the front room, or stepping outside even slightly. It is blazing hot. At least 95 or more degrees Fahrenheit outside. It is scorching.
I'm wearing
Outside-
very light clothes right now. I didn't like put my armor back on because I knew it would be hot outside. So I'm like,
Okay.
just general
Sounds
clothes.
good. Outside, there's not a lot of people right now, as the kind of standard midday siesta is occurring. The marketplace is filled with tents and various shops and stands that are all closed down at the current moment. However, there are plenty of other buildings that you can head into or wander around. Just try not to stay outside for too long, because the heat is still climbing as we pass to midday.
Mhm. So what do we want to do to escape this heat? Where do we want to go?
We had a
Should
couple
we go-
places to go in mind.
Yeah.
We wanted to check
Uh-huh.
in with our former comrades. She does the air quotes thing, which was at the inn. I believe you were saying Tuk'Tuk, the alchemist and apothecary type person, and the Adventure Guild was the other one we were planning on going to. Either way, we need to decide quickly because I can feel the tips of my ears burning.
Okay.
Tuk'Tuk wants to go apothecary first.
I wouldn't mind going there. Maybe we can find some kind of cooling potion.
All right. So, heading over to the apothecary, the herbalist's herbs from A to Z. This smaller building compared to a few of the other places around here. It poses one of the best scents of freshness. Plenty of herbs, like rosemary, and there's kind of a hint of basil in the air. A lot of different spices seem to emanate from the backyard of this small house. The front kind of square of it is a storefront for buying various herbs. It seems like it's also kind of a slight medicinal or medical area for treating minor wounds. There's like a waiting broom and a couple of like soft looking tables as you enter into here. It is generally very bright in here. Light trickles through this beautiful choice of purple stained glass, which just gives this nice calming aura around the interior of the storefront. You see, there's a large, almost kind of like a bar, that is kind of cordoning off most of the room, behind which there's a large curtain that has been pulled shut, and you can smell this scent of oils and lavenders, kind of like the main scent that you're getting at the moment, but is very floral, very herbal. And as you step in from outside, it is quite warm in here, not nearly as hot as it is outside. The sandstone material of this building helping to shade you from the awful heat that is outside. Stepping around the curtain, hearing the kind of flaps as you enter into this, it's about like 76, 77 degrees in here, so still pretty warm. Is a lovely-looking Earth Genasi woman. Hair kind of bundled together, almost looking like when you grow sugar crystals on strings of rock candy. This long, kind of blue crystal hair that almost falls like dreadlocks behind her. Her dark clay colored, like very dark wet clay colored skin um, is combated by her piercing amber orange eyes. Stepping out from around the counter, she looks a little nervous as you enter inside, and some beads of sweat are dripping down her face, but it's not too surprising given the ambient temperature here. Looking at you, she goes, "Hi, hello, sorry. I'll be right with you in just a moment here."
We're in no hurry.
Take your time. We have nowhere to be.
Yai'ral will start kind of looking at the various like herbs and stuff, kind of making mental notes about various herbs of this particular region.
As she kind of rounds around the corner again, past the curtain, she pauses for a sec, pulls her head back around the curtain, and stares at you all. As she does, her hair clacks together and kind of has this almost clinking sound, or a clicking sound as it rubs against and like hits every strand of hair hits against each other. It's almost sounding like when you move one of those large curtains of beads.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like that. She looks back at you. "I don't recognize you. Are you from... Are you from next door?
No.
Or are you picking up an order, placing an order for something?" She doesn't actually leave. She comes back around the front of the curtain, wipes off a bit of sweat using the curtain itself, and then steps up behind the bar counter and places her elbows down onto the counter and her chin on top of her interlaced fingers. "Well then, what did you come here for?"
Our little bird friend was, I believe, inquiring about something. I was myself interested in potentially acquiring some healing potions, if at all available. Or healing
Out of
herbs.
character. Out of character, just clarifying. Her hair is made out of crystals.
Yes.
It's like strings of rock candy.
Okay. 100%. Right now, Tuk'Tuk is kind of smitten just because they're shiny.
Oh yes, the light that passes through the kind of amethyst tinted windows, if it reflects in her hair, it kind of shines and sparkles and refracts and reflects to this kind of almost prismatic effect. So there's like, there's almost like a rainbow glow around the back of her head.
Tuk'Tuk has like a small little blush.
Tuk'Tuk is like seeing the face of God.
100%. Shiny. Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh.
Are you all right? Unfortunately, healing potions are not allowed to be sold in this establishment, she says, quite disheartened.
Why is that?
Oh, just a bit of a discrepancy in a couple of my accounts recently with the Mercantile and the Artisan Guild. Means that they are temporarily putting a hold on the best-selling vendor they have of healing potions, and are giving exclusive rights for healing potions to be sold from Elixirology next door.
Sounds like there's
Guess
a
we
little bit
die.
of... That's not... Sounds like there's a little bit of tension between you and your next door neighbor based on your reaction when Howie came in. Tell me, are you not allowed to sell the ingredients for making such potions?
Ingredients are one thing, but I used to do all of the blending of it together and distilling of the potions myself here.
Could you, hypothetically, sell a recipe for it and all the ingredients? If one were curious enough. After all, we don't know how long we'll be in town, and that knowledge could be very, very useful out in the general world. But here you would have exclusive rights to sell us the herbs. We would need probably a small markup, since obviously you wouldn't be making the potions yourself, but you wouldn't have to we wouldn't have to go to these apparently rather sniveling cowards next door.
Corporate bad.
Make a persuasion check.
I'm not persuasive this is gonna go really well. Oh boy.
I don't even know if I am allowed to assist. I can't do that. That's like Starfinder, Pathfinder.
Alright.
You are proficient with the skill that is being used in question, and you have a good enough reason as to why you are assisting, or how you are assisting, I will allow advantage on the roll.
Corporate is so bad. You know, we want to support local small businesses.
Are you
He looks
persuasive?
at you and goes, everything around here is a local small business.
I was gonna say, man, my persuasion's not. I'm so used to having it high, but no, not this time, man.
Tuk'Tuk's like,
Not proficient. If I'm
Tuk'Tuk-
would still technically be better.
Tuk'Tuk is just staring at the shiny rocks of her hair and just can't muster words.
He's still kind of in love. He's like he's smitten, but it's also very shiny.
Tuk'Tuk is just kind of like in a trance of like everything that this person says is like the absolute truth, and they will support them 100%. So Tuk'Tuk is kind of like, yeah, corporate bad, and just like staring longingly at her.
Alright.
Do you believe in love after love?
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do the roll. I'll just do it
I
normally.
also do hope there is a significant height difference. Just saying.
Considering, remind me, how tall is Tuk'Tuk?
Let me double check my character sheet.
Alright,
'cause
I'm
I did
making the
write that
roll.
down.
I only got a 10.
Go make that roll, girl. Oh,
Not the worst I could have rolled, but not the best.
yeah.
While I appreciate the offer of assistance and the very wonderful idea and excuse that I would be able to give, I don't want to get in any more trouble. Enough weird and strange things have been happening over the last 10 days that I don't want to tempt fate any more than I already have.
No, you too?
So I feel like Golby
I'm
is
sorry,
kind
do I know you?
I don't know. You'll have to forgive me, but for the last... how long were we in the jungle again? About 11 days?
Oh, 10 days? 11.
11, 12, a week and a half. I can't...
So many days.
It's all kind of a blur of black haze. So I don't actually remember if I would have met you or not. Apologies.
Because you seem, all of you seem very... Never mind. I'm sorry, what were you going to say? The sparkly pink one?
At that point, oh god, I don't even remember. It was at the point in which she was talking, and she was like, I don't want to risk getting in further trouble. Oh, at that, I think Golby kind of, like, perks up, and yeah, and I'm just like, what kind of trouble are you getting in? Why did these people suspend you from being able to make this? What... Can you at least give us that?
With this feeling of uncertainty within her, she begins to sweat even more, just kind of remembering the strange week that she's had so far. She does look like she wants to open up, but she seems a little bit reserved in her thought process about it. And she looks at you and, like, opens her mouth, like, wanting to say something, but then kind of closes it off. What do you say?
I roll for persuasion.
What do you say to try and have her open up? Any words of comfort?
We're just trying to understand the situation here. We've had a strange week, too, that we can't even remember. And we're just looking for answers and any kind of help in this situation. And maybe, if you tell us what's going on, it might give us some answers about what we're looking for. It also might help us assist you in being able to sell your potions again.
Ooh. Quick question. Other than potions, does she also sell, like, poisons and stuff?
Looking around, it seems that she sells, what is currently on the floor is a lot of, kind of like essential oils, some kind of like bath bomb type things in like little cloth bags that you would like set into a bath, some relaxing oils and whatnot, incense, but you don't see any poisons actively. Colby, when you say the week that we can't remember, her eyes open wide when you say that. Roll your persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. Beep bop a doop. Let's see. Persuasion. Advantage.
Yay!
24.
She looks at you. Well, you wouldn't happen to be from the adventuring guild, would you?
We were contracted through them, yes.
Okay, so, well, she kind of grabs the curtain again and wipes her face again. For about a week now, past 10 days, there's been something strange. There's a part of my house here. I kept seeing something out of the corner of my eye every time I'd walk down my hallway. I have my hallway. I have my bedroom with my large bed that I love, and I've got my supplies, my clothes, other clothes that I don't wear very often. My bathroom, my kitchen, my dining room, and my workshop, and that's it. That's all of my rooms in my house. But every time I walk down the hall and I count the number of doors, I always feel like I count an extra door, and I look back, I look around, and I don't really notice anything, but I can't. It's like there's something hidden here. Something. I don't know.
How big roughly is this house, would you say?
Are you asking DM or in character?
I should have asked. DM.
Okay. This house is. It kind of looks like with the storefront not included, it looks like it would be like a 2-bedroom, like townhouse
Mm-hmm.
in size.
I'm just wondering how effective it would be if I tried to use, like, see invisibility or, like, screeching sense to see if I could maybe find out if there's something, like, weird with this house.
Reaching sense you wouldn't be able to because the wording of the spell, it's a little weird, gets blocked by walls and whatnot. If you wanted to try see invisibility, sure, but you're only here in the kind of front storeroom at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Can Tuk'Tuk ask, have you seen the extra door? Have you tried going through the extra door?
It was 2 nights ago. I was doing a round of my house. I felt this strange, I don't know. Like I was forgetting something. Like I'd forgotten to put out the fire in my fireplace, or I'd forgotten to water the plants. I went around checking all the rooms, and there was that extra door. And when I walked up, there was some curiosity in me. I wanted to open it and check and make sure everything was okay, but because it felt like I was forgetting something, but I don't. There's a part of me. I just didn't have it in me to open it. And every time I'm doing anything, I'm out here working, or I'm just not thinking about it. It's like it disappears entirely.
Would you mind if we maybe had a look around and maybe see if we could find the door and open it?
No, I can't afford it. I can't afford to put out a contract right now to the Adventuring Guild.
No contract needed. We do this for you person to person. Just for your peace of mind.
Are you sure that we've never met before?
I can't say that I am. There's only one person in this town that I really remembered connecting with.
Everybody should do the. can't do the.
Listen, a hole is a hole, okay?
Math is math.
She, based on your earlier persuasion check, she kind of lets her guard down a little bit. Well, it's not like anyone else is going to be doing any shopping in the heat of midday. She walks over to the kind of front bar, lifts up this little plank of wood that was acting as a partition, and kind of flops it down onto the other end of the bar. And she ushers you back behind the curtain. And immediately what you see is a very tightly packed together kitchen and dining room kind of couplet. A small table with only 2 chairs. The kitchen has these nice cabinets made of a kind of mahogany-looking wood. A kind of like a potbelly furnace, smoker kind of a stove, and there's kind of a kettle sitting on top of it at the moment, and all of that kind of being crammed into what would normally just be a pretty spacious kitchen area. Partly away from it, kind of there's a hallway that bisects this room slightly, and on the other side of it, directly opposite of the curtain, is a cauldron and a kind of mortar and pestle, a lot of silk bags, plenty of different herbs to be mixed together into different tonics and oils, and like there's an oil press and like a lot of equipment really tightly packed into this room here. And trying not to step on any toes or trip over any bags, pouches, sacks that are on the floor, you're brought to the hallway. And she, on the right side of the hallway, right next to all of the equipment for her, you know, making herbal medicines and whatnot. She goes, so here's the bathroom. And she walks forward a little bit, taking cautious steps down the hallway. Here's my bedroom. We've got a hallway closet. And right at the back left of this hallway, she points. All 3 of you can easily see that there's a door there, just like all the other doors within this hallway. But she points there and says, it always appears right over there. Every time. I don't see it.
Just asking out of character, did you say that the door is currently there?
Yeah. You see 4 doors in this hallway. 1 to a bathroom, one to a bedroom, and then an additional one. The mystery 4th door. I'm sorry. I actually map here. I messed that up. It's a closet on the first door on your left is a closet. The first door on the right is a bathroom. The second door on the right is a bedroom, and the second door on the left is the mystery chamber.
Okay. So I'm going to walk over and I'm going to attempt to just open the door to see if it's unlocked.
I will
You walk
stand
over
by
and-
if it is locked.
Well, luckily that you are standing by, because as you grab the handle and kind of jiggle it, you feel no resistance with grabbing the door, nothing stopping you personally or mentally, aside from a lock. As you kind of jiggle it and shake the door, handle won't budge.
I look over at Tuk'Tuk and I'm like, well, my feathered friend, you're up.
Tuk tuk tuk. Okay, gonna pick that lock. Oh. And I would have to do dexterity. Oh no, not lock.
So
Not that lock. Different
Yes,
lock.
not the
Where's my
lock.
tools? There's my tools. Can I use it or something else?
So go to your skill list,
Oh, okay.
and at the bottom where it says tools, click on Thieves' Tools.
Oh, I've been doing it the long way the whole time. Okay, that works. I'll use Steve's tools. Normal. Oh man,
And
I want to look cool.
Good enough.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not a very complex lock. It's a common household lock. You take your Thieves' Tools, stick it into the lock, and click. Open it pretty easily. And as soon as you open the door, a wave of parchment, the scent of parchment and ink, immediately hits your nose.
What do I see in front of me after opening it?
You see, in this room, there's a cartography table. Maps of the entire region of Ramdahl. Corkboards with different names and places posted. A large desk and writings on the desk about a myriad of different topics. It looks very much like a scholar's room or an explorer's room.
Back. And it's like, does this room look familiar to you?
Tuk'Tuk, as you look back, just out of the corner of your eye, you flick your head back, almost like seeing a mirage of heat in a hot desert. Just these little lines, these waves of heat. It's not any hotter in this room than the rest of the house, but you see these kind of mirage-like lines in the vague, like round, taller than you, this vague shape. And it moves over to the desk.
I don't know if it's possible to perceive it or like a perception just to be like, what is that?
Make a perception check.
Okay. 24.
You see these lines of heat, this vague mirage. And the more you look at it, the more it begins to take shape and form within your eyes. You watch as misty, nearly invisible tendrils reach out, and they're scribbling on paper. Another arm reaches out and looks like they pick something up, bring it close to the head of the form of this thing.
This thing doesn't know we're literally looking through the door.
That's just the thing.
Like, oh,
You are looking at it. There's no scent of anything alive. It's not making any sound. It's not interacting with anything visible. It's just like a mirage.
hmm.
As the shop owner walks over and looks in here, no, I don't recognize this room at all. I never knew I had so much stuff in here. This.
Hmm.
You hear her voice shift as you look up at her, as you're very prone to do with her beautiful hair. You watch as her eyes slightly glaze over. This must be from my younger days, or something from my father. She blinks a few times and turns around. Feel free to take a look around if you need to. I should head back to the front of my store in case any customers show up, yes.
Uh, is there a way to kind of, well, I don't know if that would also be like a sense motive or something. Like, does it seem that like when her eyes glazed over, it almost feels like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know, like a trance or something,
Yeah.
or
No,
yeah.
you get the exact sense that she like fell into a slight trance before taking her head back to reality.
Okay.
Would you
Um.
care for any tea, anybody, or maybe something cold for this hot day?
Uh.
Perhaps iced tea as an option?
I can do that.
Listen,
I have an ice box.
I'm just gonna lean over to Tuk'Tuk and be like, are we just gonna ignore the fact that this woman discovered she had an entire map room in her house and is now just business as usual?
Yai?
Fine.
Yeah, I kind of just, as they're chatting, she steps into the room and starts looking around. As she is rather experienced, if I'm not mistaken. She has experience with cartography and map making.
Do the mystic things. Do the mystic
I
things.
don't even think I'm gonna have to do mystic things. I have proficiency with cartographer's tools and navigator's tools, so I can just look around to see what all these map potentialities are.
As you step into the room, you also notice the same ethereal, near invisible form sitting at the desk. It stands up pretty rapidly, with its hands down on the desk, and then it lifts both of the arms up into the air. You're having a hard time tracking it. Even dust that falls through the air is moving through it. As it moves over to a wall and motions for something on a table, you watch as its arms move over to a table where there's a bowl full of wooden pushpins on the side. It reaches into the bowl, nothing moves, pulls up its hand and presses something into the wall. And its hand, right where it's pressing into this kind of cork board that is hanging there, is a map. It's a map of the jungle of Jardoon.
Yai's gonna walk closer
Various
and kind of look at it over the shadow thing, ethereal, whatever it is.
various lines of looks like short expeditions into the kind of exterior jungle area, no more than a few hours travel, you'd say. Many different notes, almost hard to read. Like the words themselves look fuzzy. One word you can make out is danger. But it's almost as if someone took these words, like if they were written in charcoal, and smeared them with their thumb. Glancing around the room, you notice all of these different maps. There are tons of places all around Ramdahl. Not just Dryrust or the jungle of Jardoon. But you see Mount Galan. You see... Sorry, I'm looking for... There it is. You see Mount Valith, the volcano. The Gulf of Nazir. The Gleaming Lakes. Various different maps of the Carbon Islands. And on that same corkboard, with the jungle of Jardoon directly in the middle of it, you see 8 other small maps, different drawings and pictures of different places, different landmarks, scribbled, but no comprehensible words. You see a map of Mount Galan. You see one of Glassridge and Inaduk. The Acinth Forest. And even where you're currently staying and living. The abandoned Githyanki Creche off of Port Witchery. The mountains, the swamp, an island known as Asarim. What are all of these maps doing here?
I'm like taking notes on all of this, so this will be in like a journal entry. I don't know if you guys could see the journal entry when I do it, but I'm typing this down.
Yai's not even like... Yai's actually like, I'm just gonna take these maps.
Take all of it.
Legitimately, she's like... This is something she does. She's experienced with cartography and fucking map making and shit, so she's like intrigued by all this.
She's like, oh shit, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, no, she's... You can't tell unless you know her really well because her cues are really subtle, but she's actually like kind of nerding out just a little bit, like, there's so many maps. I could map out the entirety of Ramdahl with just everything in this room.
So, as Yai'ral had entered there, that figure thing, is it still there in the room, or did it just go?
Looking around the room, it's almost as if it's everywhere and nowhere simultaneously within this room. Anywhere you look, you can see this vague form mirage of this humanoid shape doing various tasks, sitting down and writing, wandering over to the cartography table and moving their arm over it, their left arm specifically. You see them moving over towards the door, walking towards you before vanishing within the doorway. They bend over next to a nothingness, struggle to pick up nothing, walk over, and then set something down where there's a box already sitting there. Wandering over to a barrel that has a lot of different scrolls of empty paper and miming pulling one out and laying it across the table. Walking over to a bookshelf and reaching up towards a book that they don't grab.
Yai's gonna kind of
So-
follow
Invisible
this thing's
creatures.
gestures. She's gonna, like, watch it go to the box. She's gonna go and open the box, see what's in the box. She's gonna see which book was about to get pulled down.
And then on that note as well, when the Earth Genasi looked into the room, did it seem that it was the room itself that kind of made her seem like in a trance, like the room itself, or was it like the little apparition thing that, like, staring at it made it feel like I don't got magic
From the brief
detectors.
interaction, you'd have to get more data. It's unclear
Okay.
as to exactly what was putting her within that trance.
Okay.
But yes, all of these slightly ethereal, nearly invisible forms wandering within this room, doing various things. It's hard to tell exactly what they're interacting with because you can't seem to get a clear visual on anything that they're doing precisely.
I still want to investigate the box.
Within the box, it is reams and reams of paper. There's some that have 1-inch grids drawn across them, some that are completely blank, some that are prepped with kind of uh, like an ocean texture to it, almost like with how it's been drawn already.
It is odd. This room. It's a cartographer's dream in here. Everything you would need to map out things. Whole continents. What is this thing, what is it looking for? She goes back to the map that's pinned on the wall. All these expeditions were not very far into the jungle itself.
At this point, Golby's just kind of standing in the doorway. And I kind of chime in. It doesn't look like he's looking for anything. It looks like he is going about his business. What I propose is that we're seeing some kind of feedback. Like some kind of apparition retracing its steps from whatever it was doing in this room.
Apparition... like the dead?
Could be the dead. Could be anything.
There's a crypt to the north of town we could inquire at. Recent deaths we could investigate.
I'll be back momentarily. With that, Golby kind of heads towards the kitchen to go talk to the shopkeep. And
You
as I
enter into the kitchen, and you see her hair pulled back behind her, her face looking up towards cabinets. Two cabinets are open right next to each other, her hands on these small handles holding them open, and she stands there just unmoving, staring into these cabinets where you see two large plates, you see two large bowls, two small bowls, two wine glasses, two cups, two teacups. And she's just staring into them, unmoving.
can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, my connection is being weird. It's disconnected me a couple of times. Okay, so as I walk in, I,
She closes the cabinets very quickly and then turns towards you, sweating, shocked, almost scared to see you there. Oh, hi, right. What kind of tea would you like? I have a lot of tea. A lot of different tea. So much tea.
I'm sure any kind will sit right with Yai'ral.
I think I'll go with the rooibos then.
I had a question for you.
Of course, yes. Ask away. As she reaches into the cabinet, not looking into the cabinet this time, grabbing a teacup and pulling it out and shutting the cabinet.
This may be a little bit difficult for you, but did you happen to have someone else who lived here?
No, no, I've lived here alone for years.
How many years have you lived alone?
13, ever since I moved here. I used to live down in Rusty Point, then moved up here to be a bit more central in the continent.
Mm-hmm. And earlier you had mentioned something, but you said something about your father.
Yes, my father. I used to live with him down in Rusty Point. He passed away before I moved here.
And when did he pass away?
Uh, 14 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And, you know, as my adventuring partner has said, it looks like you've got quite the cartographer's room.
Yes. I do? I do.
At this, Yai kind of walks into the room. She's got several maps kind of like tucked into her arm, and she's like looking over one as she like walks in the room. Very
I just
extensive collections from all over Ramdahl, if you must know.
Yes.
I wanted
You'll
to say
see.
that if there's a lot, then Tuk'Tuk is helping carrying those.
I
Yeah.
just kind of look over at you two, and I'm like, you're shameless.
Tuk'Tuk. As you hold some of the maps that, like, you're given some of the maps and you kind of hold them out to show like there's a lot of collection. You notice on the back of them, though most of the words are rubbed away or missing, on the back there's a signature, a calling card that you recognize. AZ, once again.
Okay, Tuk'Tuk doesn't say that, but like Tuk'Tuk has like a little bit of a wide eye and is just very silent with this, and then kind of like looks up, just for like trying to be casual about his little discovery of the signature.
Tell me,
Okay.
apologies, I'm not used to interacting with humanoids.
People? Yes.
What was your name, miss?
Oh, right. I forgot. You seem so familiar. I figured we. Um. My name is Judari Valhast.
Judari. Nice to meet you. Possibly again. Do you have anyone in your family or friends who would even go so far as to be making substantial maps like this?
I think I had a friend back in Rusty Point. They always said that they had someone in their life that wanted to be an explorer. Um, and I can't remember who. Um, no. No, I wouldn't say I particularly have anyone. A lot of my family is, uh, well, I come from a line of herbalists. It's kind of a family business.
Well, I don't want to be presumptuous or, looking at Golby, shameless. Would it be possible for me to borrow some of these maps to study them further without having to impose on your lovely home?
Yes, feel free. I mean, I don't even know what that room is, or why it's there.
Well, hopefully, these maps might help provide an answer for possibly our missing week and maybe why that room's there to begin with. I'm hoping, with some studying, because these maps are expansive, and the fact that you mentioned being in a central location. Why would you move to a central location and have a room full of maps?
Well,
It's
I
all
wanted
so
to
strange.
move. I wanted to move here because of the extensive amount of herbs that can be found within the jungle of Jardun.
That's true, and while the map of the jungle itself would be quite useful for that, having a map of an abandoned creche is very much useless for an herbologist. The creche has nothing in it, at least one that's abandoned as the one I've been staying in. It's empty, there's nothing there, no herbs, nothing much alive either. So it just begs to question, why would these be here? But hopefully we can find an answer for you and for us. And then she turns to Golby. I asked. Nicely.
That you did. And for your excellent display of people skills, I commend you.
By chance, were we kind of near the door when Golby was asking about Judari's father? Like, did we kind of overhear that conversation on our way?
It's not a very large building,
Mm-hmm.
so it's easy to overhear pretty much anything from anywhere within here.
Okay. Um, Tuk Tuk is gonna sit down and kind of wait for tea to be served.
All right. You go and sit down in one of the two chairs by the small table. Oh, right, the tea. Walking over to a an ice box, she opens it up, and inside there's a lot of food. There's sacks of potatoes and onions and carrots that are just packed into here. Tons of fresh fruit. It's less of an icebox and more of a cold under the floorboards kind of storage. And reaching inside, she pulls out a pitcher of rooibos tea. Uh, Not room temperature, and she goes, "Ice. I don't have ice. How did
I'm
I get ice?"
It's okay. I can just have it.
Agreed. Cool is perfectly fine.
Right. And she opens up the cabinet, stares into it for a little bit, and shakes her head and pulls out cups, four of them, two normal cups, two teacups, and pours the rooibos tea, handing
That's
a glass to everybody.
that's a lot of food for one person.
Well, I like to be prepared for anything, and I occasionally cook for, well, I cook for the town when we head to when I when I head up to go and see Mother Derma.
Who's Mother Derma?
She oversees the um well, they call it a crypt, but it's more of a temple and a burial chamber for the ashes of people who are cremated in town. I go there and pray quite often to Melora, thanking her for the bounty of various herbs that I can receive from the jungle. And usually I bring her something to cook, because she's been getting older recently and is not very uh, handy with herself in the kitchen anymore.
Understandable.
That's really
That's
sweet.
very commendable.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yai has this look on her face, like, contemplating aging. Like, aging. That's such a foreign concept.
Tuk Tuk kind of takes caution when asking this question, but he just kind of goes, "Sorry if we overheard. By the way, sorry to hear about your father. What was his name?"
Oh, Thinnis.
Hmm. Put that rose back out. Okay.
Um,
What did he
so-
do for a living?
He was an herbalist, taught me everything I knew. Well, he and my mother, they tag teamed. There were a couple of interesting herbs that you could only get near the edge of the swamp, the mucklands.
Hmm.
Golby is going to chime in now. Just a random question. Sorry if you find it kind of strange, but do you happen to know who owned this house before you?
It was actually built for me when I came here. It's a little bit newer than most of the other houses around here.
Probably documents regarding its building. Where would those be found? Permits, etc.
Well, building of new houses falls under the jurisdiction of the Artisans Guild, due to the fact that we have a very wonderful artist of a mason who lives at the south edge of town.
Okay.
Well, I think
I've
you were saying.
This is out of character, but I would just like to remark, Golby has not sipped his tea at all. And is just kind of holding it in his hands.
Okay.
And refusing to drink it. Because I'm just a wee bit skeptical of some things and wanna be cautious.
Okay. I do have one more thing. This Tuk'Tuk. So Tuk'Tuk confessed. So if you're an herbalist, are you also aware of poisons by chance?
Well, there are plenty of different poisons that can be derived from a myriad of different plants. Many plants. I actually make a pesticide to keep some of the bugs of the jungle away from the farm just north of here.
Oh, that sounds so great. And I believe Tuk'Tuk has, that empty vial that was found, that empty poison vial. He kind of just wants to know what kind of poison was in it. I don't think I put a note on what it was, but if it's possible to be bought in the apothecary or where it probably came from.
Well, I could take a look at it if you'd like. It might take me an hour or so to understand exactly what poison it is, if it is derived from a plant.
Are they close enough to the storefront for Yai to see some of the other things she sells, or no?
Yeah, it's just beyond a curtain. You're in the kitchen right now, which is just behind the curtain of the storefront.
Yai picks up her tea, looks at it, sniffs it, and then promptly chugs the whole thing. And then sets it down gently, and then goes over and looks out the front. Does she have any incense?
Yes, there are incense.
She goes over and she pulls out the ones that she found, that we acquired from the backpack. The insect repellent incense. Does it match any of these?
As you look around, there are some insect repellent incense, the exact same type, being sold here.
Oh my god.
She'll put it back in her bag. She won't bring it up just yet. But yeah, she'll head back and just go, "Well, that was a lovely cup of tea. I believe we do have some other errands that need to be run. Maybe we can come back in a few hours after you've examined the vial."
Oh, well, yes, of course, and thank you. It's one of my favorites, as she takes a sip of the tea. And then she looks at it for a second before opening a little jar of sugar and just taking a sprinkle of raw sugar and adding it into the tea, swirling it around and sipping some more.
It was quite nice.
I just, like, casually set my glass down on a counter, not drawing any attention to myself.
I imagine you're trying to...
Make a sleight of hands check.
I'm just imagining the scene where, like, Krunk, like, is, like, not drinking it, but pouring it out behind him and making it look like he's drinking it. You just trying to be, like, subtle about you not drinking it.
Yep. Sleight of hand. Normal roll. What did I get?
14.
14. How successful am I?
She doesn't seem to notice that you don't drink it.
Good.
I just want Tuk'Tuk. His reason for not drinking it is still because he's so shy looking at her and having a conversation with her about the vial. So he just forgot to drink.
Just, ooh, shiny hair. Crow with shiny things.
In their own words, ooh woo.
Well, let me get to work. Is there anything else that you need?
Actually, I have this dagger. It requires gems. Do you have an idea of where I could acquire such gems? For
Of course.
this?
Well, it's 2 buildings to the west of here. There's a gem cutter and a jeweler that works. Look for the almost octagonal shaped storefront with a beautiful blue crystal glass dome of a ceiling.
Ooh, okay. I will take that as a note.
Also, welcome in, Raiders. You guys joined at an interesting time. Which is funny that, Placid, you said uwu, because that's literally what our Kenku is doing to this lovely Genasi lady who's got, like, rock candy crystal hair. It's very pretty.
Do you believe in ooh after woo after woo?
Yeah, Tuk'Tuk's just like...
you did ask how tall Tuk'Tuk is. Tuk'Tuk is 4'6".
So small.
What a short king.
He's such a short king. I love how tiny Tuk'Tuk is. Tuk'Tuk just staring up at this Earth Genasi goddess.
She's approximately 6'3".
Love that for him.
Almost 2 feet taller. It's amazing.
Did we? I don't think I ever gave Golby a canon height.
That's amazing. I don't actually know if Yai has a canon height either. I know she's taller because Gith are weirdly tall.
We'll have to figure that out soon.
Oh wait, no, I gave her a height. She's only 5'11", so she's not actually that tall.
Yeah, 5'11" versus 6 foot.
Yeah. I could have put, like, 5'13" just to be a fucking shit. You know, I feel like I need to change it to that just because fucking Yai is contradictory enough to do shit like that.
No, Guy doesn't understand, like, height and shit.
Yai does everything in metric, not imperial. How do they do it in the Astral Sea? Metric or imperial?
I mean, I think you just made a canon that they do it in metric, I guess.
Or some other weird measurement. I don't know. Either way, funny.
Just say that you're 100 and... let's see. Uh, 180 centimeters would be 5'11", approximately.
She's 181 centimeters, just for shits and giggles.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm
She's taller than me.
181 centimeters tall.
Centipeders.
What is a centipeder? That's how we measure everything.
It'll be just a
I
tick.
just realized
Night, Snoop.
when I was looting in the last session, literally I just took anything that was fun. I remember I took an emblem of might, which ends up being a holy symbol. And this is out of character, but I'll totally play it in character later. But now I'm just wondering, shoot, did this come from the it's a holy symbol, so maybe it might be something. I have no idea whose body I stole this off of.
I believe that was on the bandit masquerading as the paladin half-elf.
Gotcha.
For some reason, I had a teddy bear.
Yeah, you
that
picked
was
up a
inside
teddy
of
bear.
the trapped, poisoned chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just picked
Along
that up.
with chain.
Yep.
Yep.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but chains and whips excite me.
God, I really want to give you disadvantage on your next whatever the fuck you do.
Oh,
Awful.
you don't like the fact that Golby is quoting Rihanna?
No, not particularly.
You're just mad because it actually makes sense for his character.
Shut up! It was mutual.
Whipping.
Oh my god.
Not only do you have a whip, you technically did get chains in your
Yeah,
inventory.
you have whips. You have a whip and chains.
I guarantee there's going to be a time when that comes up for me. And there's
Sticks
going
and
to
stones fall from the ceiling and you break your arm. Crunch.
I lose all of my temporary hit points.
No, I'm not that mean. All right, but sorry, reorienting. There we go. Judari goes and sits down at her desk, kind of shoving some herb, like medicine balls that she was making to the side, and starts to take out a couple of live plants and takes a little eyedropper and begins or like a little spoon and scrapes the edge of the vial that you handed her and begins to apply it to the plants and begins to study the effects that the poison has on them.
Well, Judari seems to be busy now, so shall we... She kind of gestures to the door.
I believe it is time to exit stage. And with that, Golby just walks out of the building.
Oh, what were your names again?
Golby Gibertson, he says with a flourish and raised arm as he exits the door.
Yai'ral.
Tuk'Tuk is like bashful, so he kind of he like stirs a bit, and then he says Tuk'Tuk, and then he like runs after his friend.
Giggles and runs
Uh,
away.
Miss Yai'ral, since your other friends seem to have left
Mm.
quite quickly, I knew I've recognized you.
Yes.
She heads around the curtain and walks over behind her bar and picks up a box and sets it on top of the countertop.
Hmm.
And it has all three of your names on it, as well as the names of Din, Gus, and Glorbus.
My fucking babies.
Huh.
Later, we're gonna have to explain the origins of Dingus and Glorbus.
I would also like to know about Din Glorbus.
I
I
have
don't
no
think I was
memory
thinking
of
that.
this box. But she walks over. Can I, like, open it or anything?
As you open it up, inside the box there are pouches on the inside. And each pouch has one of the names that was listed on the box written in a beautiful cursive on these little like silk pouches.
She'll reach in and grab the one with her name and open it up.
As you do, you peer inside, and there's 8 platinum pieces in there.
Holy shrimp.
You...
As well as a note on the inside. Pulling out the note, it says, "If you received this bag, it means you did an exceptional job taking me through the jungle. Thank you so kindly, AZ."
We did get paid. But that asshole just
didn't
like
know that
abandoned us.
You're not even here. You're not even here. Go away,
I'm not in
Tuk'Tuk.
here, but I will make that comment. I will make that comment.
Have you looked in these?
No, I have not.
And-
I thought that they were orders. Those are my silk bags, after all, that I package herbs inside.
Well, the... You don't happen to know anyone by the name with the initials AZ, do you?
I do, actually.
Who?
Back in Rusty Point, that friend who said that they knew a person who wanted to be an explorer.
Was it the
Her
Explorer?
name is... No, I don't remember the explorer's name, but her name was Alma Zudal.
She puts the note back in the bag. Unfortunately, I don't have Din, Gus, or Glorbus. They were apparently... There was an incident. Let's just leave it at that. So I'd keep their 3 bags, and if anyone comes in with those names, just keep these to yourselves for now. I'll take these 2 to Golby and Tuk'Tuk.
Yes, of course. What's in them?
Well, that's why you should keep the other 3. Take a look.
As you step outside, you hear a slight gasp as the door closes behind you. and it is scorching hot out here. Only hot.
Ugh.
Immediately feeling sweaty, and the clothing begin to stick to your skin once again. Where do you all go?
I'm gonna
Off topic, I just
propose-
want to say how cool Yai'ral was. I was taking a moment.
I pulled the, like, walking away from an explosion level of bullshit.
Yeah, it was like, I had to take a moment. I was like,
Keep it in your pants, Tuk'Tuk. That's for Judari, right? You know.
Oh, where did you two head? Because I know we have a couple stops to hit.
I
Okay,
was
so-
waiting for you because I was just like Tuk'Tuk was just kind of like, oh my god, I said my name.
I just imagine he's outside, like, crouched by the side of the door, like, oh my god, I said my name, like squeeing, basically, just like, oh my god, I said it to her, she's so pretty.
Taking a little ways.
Do you need a moment?
No, Tuk'Tuk is good. Tuk'Tuk is good.
Alright.
Tuk'Tuk's excited to see her again, though.
Very much so, I
I'm
can
gonna
tell.
say something quickly out of character. Can we take a quick break because I am about to like piss myself.
You're totally fine. I'm totally cool with us taking 5
I
and
need to get some water anyways.
I do too. So, and I want to get up to date with the our raiders who just came in a little while to answer their questions. So yes, break time.
Break time.
So Mastication, the campaign's going well. It's only our 3rd session. So we've already had a couple fights. We're currently investigating the mystery of our lost memory and who the fuck this AZ fella is, because they're literally the only connection we have. So we're trying to find out. We're trying to get the answers, but so far we're coming up pretty blank, aside from obviously what you just heard. So it's getting there. We're figuring stuff out. Yai also had a moment of just absolute sheer nerdery because she likes cartography and stuff, and found an entire room of cartography maps, and she might have taken all of them. She is not ashamed of this fact.
Not gonna lie, this whole part of the session, I'm just literally having like so many theories, and I'm just like, okay, which one's gonna hit, which one's gonna stick. So honestly, I'm very invested.
What are your thoughts so far?
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Hello.
Well, okay, first of all, I thought AZ would be the father, but then it's like, okay, the friend. So I took notes. I legit took notes because I was literally like, okay, this is info dumping. I need to take notes right now. I don't know if my notes can actually, like, it's in the journals. I don't know if everybody could see that.
Hold on, let me check.
Yes, journal, the extra room in the apothecary.
Yeah.
The room in the apothecary.
I don't.
A suspicious
also-
fourth room that the Earth Genasi has explained she's passed by, but for some reason seems to forget or feel foggy when it appears.
It appears locked, and as Tuk'Tuk unlocks it, there is an extra room for a scholar. It has maps, but such as a thing that was writing down and scribbling within the room.
I was just taking really quick notes as I was just like, I need to keep up.
I want to read this whole thing out loud now.
No!
It is there, but also not there at the same time. The Earth Genasi seemed to be in a trance when she had opened the room, and then go back to business as usual. Unsure if it was the room or the strange figures that have put her in a trance. Not enough information. Hey, what are you doing here? I feel like I could ask you the same thing.
I
The
was
figure was
thinking
writing
about
down many songs about rainbows.
I was thinking about writing this as if Tuk'Tuk wrote it, but at this point I was like, I can't add in character flavor in this. I just need to type this all down because this is information.
I'm gonna go get that water real quick.
You're all good.
I'll be right back. Also, Kibby, can you put her name in Discord so I can jot it down?
With rainbows.
I also don't know, can we edit each other's stuff? Because honestly, if I spell names wrong, 100%, just edit it for me.
Well, you got Judari Valhast correct. You got
Cool.
Mother Derma correct.
Cool. I was nervous for a bit because I was like, derma, and then I was like, dermatologist.
Why are there so many maps with rainbows?
And what's on the other side?
It's another goddamn rainbow. What
I wish
the
it was
fuck?
a handsome guy to rail me in the ass.
My God.
Follow me like a field. We're all searching for that rainbow connection.
You got that one wrong, but I can help you.
I can't see anyone else's notes other than my own.
I feel
Oh.
like at the end of the campaign, we should all sing Rainbow Connection.
I don't think anyone wants to hear me sing, heck no.
Why are there so many songs about
Well, here
rainbows?
I'll post in the tavern all of Tuk'Tuk's notes.
Legitimately gonna listen to Rainbow Connection later tonight.
It's a good song.
It is a good song. It's a really fucking good song.
Whoa, calm down.
Oh, I've only just begun to pull the thread on this sweater, friends.
I'm imagining Tuk'Tuk with the freaking red string and the map and just the Charlie Day. Just...
Oh my god. Okay, I have to ask you guys. You haven't started Has Been yet, have you?
No.
No.
Because of like, there's a moment like that in the show, and it's really funny.
What happened to
It's on our list. Give us a bit and we'll get to it.
I know. It's just funny. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, getting back into things here.
Yeah, get into it.
Where are you heading? Or Yai'ral, you were speaking with Tuk'Tuk and then Golby ran around the side of the building to take a piss.
Yep.
Mhm. Several people saw me.
Hang on, let me roll something.
How many people Cat called?
I'm rolling a d6. You were seen by 2 people. One of them thought you were a fucking creep. The other one thought you were hot.
Sounds about right.
I'm making this canon for Golby's character, but he's the kind of dude who literally pees with his pants around his ankles.
Just like ass
It's
fully
different
out.
in the astral sea. You know,
Oh my goodness.
Full ass
when
out.
gravity's weird in the astral sea, you gotta make sure your clothes are as far away from the piss as possible.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's habit.
I'm glad
habitual.
Tuk'Tuk
Really
is too
many-
smitten to see this. I'm glad Tuk'Tuk is.
Tuk'Tuk is constantly shielded from the misadventures of Golby and his sexual ways.
I feel like Yai just acts as a shield for Tuk'Tuk. It's just like, Just don't. Yeah, ignore him. It's fine. He's being Golby.
No, it's like that one. It's like that one Simpsons scene where Bart is like skateboarding naked and like it's just perfectly covering up his crotch from random objects and like a fence and then like grass and then like a dog running by. And it's just like perfectly censoring it the whole time.
That's amazing. Yep.
Wiggum's finger.
Mm-hmm.
The
Well,
nature of things just censor it.
Teacher.
I feel bad.
do we want to head? I want to get out of this heat. Back to the inn to talk with our comrades. Oh, here. She just tosses each of them a bag that has their name on it. Let's head back to the inn. I could use a drink, honestly.
Okay, I'm gonna say something out of character real quick. Golby is not going to go with them quite yet. He needs to make a call. Specifically, with a wonderful item.
I know. I understand.
But this one is not going to be... It's not going to be about that. I need to set up a little meeting with Julian. Or...
People who just joined the
Reason.
stream, again, ship Julie, hashtag Julie.
Juvie. I feel like fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
I'm sailing the ship.
I'm adding it as a tag at this point. I'm really tempted to.
Do it, do it, do it. As the #1 shipper at the moment, do it.
As the one leading the charge,
As you as you pull out your sending stone and attempts to get into contact with Julian, what do you say to start the conversation?
I need to meet with you tonight.
You get a response, only you can hear it within your own head. Wow, a request that soon. I wasn't expecting that.
Golby is kind of pacing back and forth a little bit nervously. And just kind of trying to think how to further the conversation. I need to talk to you just a little bit tonight. Could we meet at the tavern?
Sure. How about the same seats, right around sunset?
That sounds wonderful. I'll see you then.
Okay. Your date's set. You see your friends walking over towards the Dust Bunny Inn.
I'm going to join them and go and talk to Din and Gus and Orbis.
Yeah, Yai's first stop is she goes literally into her room and dumps basically all of her shit. Because she doesn't want to
As you walk inside, the Harangan innkeep, with the sandy tan fur, brown eyes, stiff ears, black at the tips, she looks at you and goes, "Oh, back from your baths already?" As you're storming up the stairs to your rooms. Oh, okay. Hi.
Tuk like trails down a tiny bit, and it's just like, yes, it was very relaxing, and then trucks back to the stairs.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Golby simply walks in, and then just like Starlight steps up the stairs.
Mr. Gibertson. Mr. Gibertson, and then you just glitter. It is just a cloud of glitter that just poof. And none of you see this, as the camera is still stuck on the innkeep, and you see that whenever someone in anime gets mad, that little like symbol appears on their forehead. She like puffs out her cheeks. That little like angry symbol appears on her forehead. She crosses her arms, goes and begins to like very angrily like stomp her foot, because rabbits when they get mad they
Bump
stomp
their
feet.
foot, yeah.
Yes,
She goes,
favorite mannerisms.
yep, and she stomps her foot and goes, "I hate rude customers." Meanwhile, you all head to your rooms, dropping off your stuff, doing whatever you're going to be doing.
I simply
And
am just
recalling
change.
that Din, Gus, and Glorbus are in the room directly next to room number 13 that Golby is in.
Yeah, I literally...
So they heard me fuck it.
Oh, they heard you fuck.
They heard you. Very loudly.
Your poor babies.
And they were roommates.
Oh.
Mates.
Yai comes down, goes to the room next door, and just knocks. She, like, actually reaches for the handle, then stops, and knocks.
As you knock, you hear a loud whack. Ow! Son of a bitch! I told you. Don't try and steal from
Thank
me.
you for
Now
the
answer
hydrate.
the door and be
And the
polite
Tic
about
Tac.
it. Okay, jeez, God. Fucking hell, Grandpa. And the door opens to a just dressed in a simple green tunic, scratching the back of his head, this bright
Yep.
red hair, and like one eye is like a beautiful icy elf blue, the other one's kind of like a golden color, staring up at you. Oh, hi. And then he leans up against the door. Hey there. How you do? Hey, is that my coat?
She's only wearing regular clothes. She's not wearing the armor.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Never mind. Reverses that. Hey, how you doing? You know, I don't see many Githyankies here, and I hear that they can be quite exotic. Are you the, special service that I requested? And he licks his lips. And then, from across the room, a dark object is hurled at the back of this kid's head. Cracking directly into it, you hear the shattering of a potato that smacks him in the back of the head. Oh, fuck! Grandpa, not fair! That wasn't me this time. God damn it, Din!
Oh, good. You are the
And
ones
then,
I'm looking for.
kind of laughing from the corner is another half-elf, very muscular and strong-looking, laughing her ass off, holding another potato, kind of throwing it and catching it. It nails you right in the back of the head. You didn't even notice. You're such an idiot.
Yai pushes his shoulder and then turns to him and with like the most deadpan fucking voice just says, "I'm not that special service, and if you ever proposition me again, I'll cut your dick off and feed it to you." And then walks into the room.
She's so cool.
I can't tell if that was kinky or scary. Maybe both.
Fear boner.
At this point, Golby has exited his room and gone next door because he heard the commotion and figured that it was probably Yai. And I just walk up behind Gus and enter the room, and I just say, you know, sometimes fear and horniness are what's needed.
Roll just a straight charisma check for me.
Wait.
He has not failed charisma or performance yet.
Charisma, normal roll,
Nice roll.
That was a saving throw, but you know what? We'll count just removing the +2 from proficiency. Still a 16.
Mhm.
Looks at you and goes, "Oh, hey, wait up!" And you are now all piled into this tiny room. There are 3 beds that are crammed together to create this like one mega bed
Night,
in the
CC.
middle of the room. And then like 2 chairs, a small table. One of the legs has been broken off and then tied back to the table with rope. The darker skinned half elf Din, as you would know her at this point, has her feet kicked up on the table, which is like wobbling back and forth as she shifts her legs back and forth, just like hearing the legs of the table click, 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 click against the wooden floor.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see this exhausted, old, elven man. He's got short hair, not entirely gray yet. You can tell that this elf is old because you can actually see wrinkles on his face.
Hmm.
Like rubbing the temples of his head. Yes, just come in, I guess. Everyone's welcome as soon as our idiot. What are you doing in here, and who are you?
I'm Yai'ral. And I believe you were supposed to be our compatriots into the jungle.
I'll be your compatriot any day of the week.
I throw a dart right between his legs.
Tuk'Tuk kind of just like looks at him and has like a knife. Just a knife.
I just imagine Tuk just like,
Oh, hi, little bird friend. That's a very sharp object. Are you sure you should be... Who gave this child a knife?
You are not Tuk'Tuk's friend.
Hey, if the kid wants to have a knife, the kid wants to have a knife. Who gives a shit? I do. It's pointed at me.
Yai just focuses
Okay.
on...
Din, Gus, either stay silent or leave the room. I want gold pieces to go shopping and shut the fuck up. Sold. He pulls out 10 gold pieces out of a pouch on his side, slaps it down on the table. The two of them scramble for the gold pieces. Give me a second. Yeah, they both get exactly 5. Ha! It's fair this time. Oh yeah? Last one to the rusty tankard has to pay. Hey, no fair! You're faster than me! And the two of them just rush out the front door.
Those two seem exhausting.
Within the darkness of this room, the old man stands up, looks at the 3 of you, steps behind his chair into the shadow of the dim light from a single candle in the corner of the room. As he steps into the shadow, he falls directly into the shadow before you all hear the door close behind you as he's standing, leaning against the door. What are you doing here? What do you mean we're supposed to be compatriots? I've never met you before.
You were supposed to be hired to go into the jungle of Jardoon, yes? But got accosted by 3 fuckwits who took your spot? And stole all of your things.
How do you know this?
Because we
Is
found
the
those...
news spread already?
No, well, yes, the innkeeper did mention that your things were stolen by bandits. We happened to find said bandits, and, well, they were already
I knew
dead
I should
when we
have
found them.
prevented Gus from talking to Miss Stabby.
Anyway.
Yes, we were accosted by bandits, preventing us from
journeying into the
A
jungle
shop? Yes, we were going to go journey into the jungle.
with someone, right?
Well, it's safer to be in a group larger than 3 when out in the wild, though we were prepared to go it alone if necessary. Heard rumors of some. And you see his eyes, they kind of twitch for a moment as he pauses to think. Treasures within the jungle.
Hmm.
At this point, Golby has firmly planted his butt on the end of one of the beds and just kind of made himself comfortable.
The megabed is quite soft.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
Intrigued.
and I apologize for barging in. I'm still working on manners with people of this plane. It's weird. Anyway,
He's doing a great job.
she just flips you off.
I beg to differ.
See, she's learning new mannerisms every day.
Basically, we don't recall it, but we woke up, 2 days ago now? A day ago? Fuck if I recall.
2 days ago.
We woke up 2 days ago in the middle of the jungle with 3 dead would-be elves. They were disguised as you 3 and were wearing your gear. Most of it. Did we grab... This is me asking out of character. Did we grab all their shit, or did we leave some of it? Because I know I took...
You left some of it.
I know I took Gus's robe, which I'm not giving back.
Yeah,
You took some of it. You didn't take all of it.
Yeah. So, either way.
I could tell. He leans over and picks up the dart that you threw between Gus's legs. This is mine.
You can have him back.
I can
Not
tell.
at all. What did I
I've
do
trained
about
long
taking
enough
other
for this.
people's things?
We thought they were dead, and better for us to
It's
use
fine.
them.
If you took it from the bandits who stole it from us, while I would appreciate you returning everything that you took from us, it is...
Everything they took from you, we took it from them.
Right. Well, while it would be appreciated you returning our items that were stolen from us, I understand the laws of looting.
Well, it's probably a good thing you didn't come with us, because Dipshit would have had his face melted by acid, and you and the girls did, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you would have been crushed by giant collapsing pillars.
You don't know that.
No, we wouldn't have been. Those bandits, most assuredly, but that's a standard Tuesday for us.
Huh, well. Sounds like you had some fun adventures. Let's see. I'm just trying to look at what Yai has on her, because I'm like, she's not opposed to giving the darts back.
Yeah, I can totally give my darts back.
I have a
Is
quarter staff that belongs to Gus.
is this anyone's emblem of might?
That would be Din's, and if you were to return that, I would be very grateful. That is something special that she won a long time ago.
What I do give to character, or what would I use?
You can just remove it from your inventory.
Okay.
Because there's no actual, like, character token that you're interacting with right now. So,
Okay.
thank you, little bird.
Are any of you proficient with scimitars?
Why, yes. I believe Din and I myself can handle most weaponry.
I have a few things I can make for you. Give me a second, I'll go get it. If I may.
Did one of you happen to have a quarterstaff?
What did it look like?
A staff.
Very unhelpful. I had one stolen from me as well as my grandson. Did it have a piece of mistletoe hanging from it?
Yes, it did.
That would be Gus's.
Can we
Well,
keep his at least?
Mine, that he... You know, he's been such a little shit recently. Yeah, he needs a good refresh. Feel free.
So Yai is gonna go into her room. She's gonna grab the scimitar, one of the short swords that she's no longer gonna be using because she's keeping that long sword. She's going to reluctantly bring the quarterstaff, a bunch of the darts. She's gonna keep like 2 or 3 darts. And then she's also gonna bring the padded armor that she no longer needs and the chain shirt that she no longer needs. Because again, I'm not giving back the scale mail robe. He can kiss my ass.
I'm sure he'd want to.
Probably, given his mannerisms. Okay. I'm just gonna take those
As
off
you-
and D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I'm gonna give
Bring
my
back
darts
and-
and the short bow.
As you bring back and deliver the myriad of weaponry and items that the bandits held, Glarbus looks at you all, takes a deep bow, and says, "Thank you for being kind souls, returning items that have been lost to their rightful owners. I'm sure that
Night-night.
whatever darkness you find yourselves in will hopefully protect you. See opportunity to harm."
Well, someone in this world has to be kind now, don't they?
Okay, so I'm giving
I mean,
away
based on the law of averages, one would certainly hope so.
I am giving away my darts and the short bow.
I'm giving away one of the quarterstaffs.
And like 1 leather, because I don't need 2.
How many quarterstaffs do you have? Because I have one too.
I think.
Maybe I might.
I
I think mine is actually mine because I think I get that as a wizard.
You get that as a wizard.
Okay, so it's my quarterstaff. Never mind, that one's fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna return both of the quarterstaffs because I don't think that either of them are mine.
Thank you. You see, one is this beautiful kind of gold-colored wood that has these orange straps, kind of like grips that have been added to it, and the other one is kind of a very natural-looking walking stick with the mistletoe hung from it. Thank you for returning these. And then he takes the natural walking stick with the mistletoe and snaps it over his knee. Takes
by
his
the
other
way,
one,
how much?
spins it around and slams it onto the ground. Just as I remember it.
By the way, how many platinum did we get again from
8.
80. 80.
80. Oh
80.
dear God.
Yeah, not 18.
Oh my
80.
I thought it was just 8 platinum, not 80. But that makes more sense because it was.
Oh,
an
I thought you
8.
said gold pieces just now.
No.
Yes, 8 platinum pieces.
platinum?
8 platinum.
80 gold. 8 platinum, 80 gold. That's the the equation. Yes, 8 platinum pieces. 8 little coins.
Okay.
Yeah, Yai's keeping that like silken pouch like in her bra. That one's not going with the rest of the stuff. That's a lot of money.
Sounds good.
Golby has padded his in his pants.
I can see. I
Why, you
fucking do.
seem even more well endowed than you did earlier.
If Yai'ral can hide it in her boobs, Golby can hide it in his pants.
Literally, if you've never... fucking bras are basically just cups. They really are. You can shove stuff in there.
I'm sorry, beautiful Githyanki woman, but it seems your tits are lopsided.
She'll sew a pocket in somewhere later.
Golby is just proudly displaying it down south.
Well, thank you for returning these to us.
It was our pleasure.
I apologize for
Though
not
I'm
grabbing
assuming
all of
it's
it.
not. It's fine. You were making a trek through the jungle, carrying only what you can. It helps you stay alive. I understand that very well. Especially since I am fairly minimalist in my lifestyle.
Your grandson's not getting his robe back, by the way.
Frankly, I don't really care. You've delivered padded armor that's good enough for him.
Perfect.
He stole it anyways.
Well, then it's just now passing the tradition, isn't it?
Well, no. Now it truly belongs to you, because you looted it off of a dead body.
Did. That's true.
Once again, adventure's laws of looting.
It's kind of like the international law of dibs.
I haven't heard of that one.
It's common
Is
in
that
the
something
astral...
from the Astral Sea?
Yeah, very common in the astral sea. Very common.
Named after a wonderful expeditional captain, Captain Dibs.
Yes. I'm amazed you know of Captain Dibs, but I suppose his story is quite far-reaching.
Yes, it jogged my memory once you mentioned it. Well, if you'll excuse me, I do have some meditating to return to. I need to hold on to the silence as long as I can before I have to go and most likely bail my grandson and granddaughter out of jail again.
Fair enough. Thank you for the little bit of insight you were able to give us as well.
It was greatly
Of course. Well, now that our things have been returned to us, or at least enough of it, my family and I were planning on heading north, up to Glass Ridge. I know there's quite a bit of work to be had up there.
Very well. Well, if we happen to see you again, we happen to see you again.
Thank you. And get off my bed.
Fine, fine. With that, Golby is just gonna head out of the room.
Tuk'Tuk's inventory is a lot lighter now.
Honestly, so is
Huzzah.
Yai's, because Yai had a lot of shit on her. I'm also going to put
So
as a
for
custom
this-
item maps. Lots of maps.
Should I just subtract the quarterstaffs from my inventory?
Yep.
Okay. Beep-bop boop.
Well. Yeah, it turns around this way. I think we have some discussing before we. Well, while we wait for the heat of the high sun to pass.
As Yai walks away, I'm gonna pull Tuk'Tuk aside. Did you also get the vibe that that grandpa was kind of looking at Yai'ral? You know?
You took
Golby, out of your own shadow, stepping up behind you, stepping out of your shadow. No, I wasn't. I took an oath of celibacy over 185 years ago.
I just want to describe that when Golby was like Tuk had like a blank face, like a oh, and then after he was behind him and said that, Tuk then just answers no.
No.
What is celibacy? Is that a Pokemon?
Like Tuk is just kind of like answering the question very delayed, like no, I don't think so.
In the bag on the stairs with all the others.
Yeah.
Stepping back
Golby
into
just
your
silently shits himself.
melts. He melts back down into your shadow and disappears again.
I'm just like, I thought I was safe outside of the room. Apparently I'm not.
Maybe you shouldn't be so loud next time. You hear from inside the room.
Will do.
If he could hear them, Yai just turns around.
What's your passive
Just-
perception?
Okay, let's see. Passive is... it is 13.
13. You at least heard the next time you shouldn't be so loud and will do. But other than that, you didn't hear any of that.
Are you coming, or...
Tuk is just muttering that, like, Tuk is very grateful that Tuk's room is not near there. Tuk also happy Tuk has amnesia.
I just look at Yai and I'm like, I did not do anything wrong.
Alright, fine. Anyways, we have to talk.
Yes, we do.
So she waves them into her room.
Alright.
And is this like bed, little like table with a couple chairs kind of set up?
Bed, desk, table, chairs, wardrobe.
Alright. So yeah, just Yai like spins a chair around and sits on it with her like arms braced against the back.
Golby immediately jumps like belly flop onto her bed.
Tuk just kindly sits.
Like a child coming back from craft day at elementary school, your bed is covered in glitter.
And you get after me about manners.
I can't help that I shed this.
Your dandruff is just glitter.
Kibby, he is literally the sequined fucking dress. The sequined jumpsuit.
Oh god.
Oh,
Literally just leaving little glitter everywhere he walks. Oh.
just little bits here and there.
Alright, so.
Hope you're never getting tracked.
Yup. So,
You
first,
just have to put me in a sack.
or make you learn prestidigitation. So, first things first. Did you see the note in the bag that I gave you?
I did not.
So those bags are from AZ, which if I recall correctly is the same name that was in that nifty little book you picked up. Presumably from whoever our mysterious archaeology friend is. Archaeologist.
Mm-hmm.
Now these bags, along with ones that had we all returned, would have been given to those bandits. Those bags were all in notes because I can't remember names. That one's I literally have called it Yai's notes about humanoids. Yes, Judari.
Yes.
Those were in Judari's home, all written to us. Now, of course, I let her keep the 3 that were for the 3 who were supposed to be with us, because obviously she deserves them more than... Did you
say it? The Grifter, the old man, and the one who threw the potato.
The Grifter, the old man. I wouldn't classify him as a Grifter.
Okay. If we make this into a YouTube video, that is the title of the YouTube video. The Grifter, the old man, and the one who threw the potato.
I'm writing it down.
I really wish that we could play music in this because it would be so funny for later when Golby goes to meet with Julian and it's just dating Start from Undertale.
Aww. So sweet. So awesome.
Oh, okay. Back to everything. I just needed to make that side note.
Again, hashtag Doobie. Everybody, hashtag Doobie.
I like that we already have a fucking ship name for this campaign. I don't even think we had a ship name for... Then again, we haven't had any, like, really crazy romances in any of the other campaigns we've done. I'll tell you fun stories later. Anyway. Alright, so did anyone else... So, while I was looking around, I know, Golby, you were in the kitchen with her for a bit. So, she pulls out the incense ball. She had these exact incense balls for sale in her shop. Which tells me either the person we were with either frequents her shop enough to get stuff from her often, or I'm getting the feeling, based on just the things she was saying, that she didn't live alone, and maybe she has a similar case of amnesia? This whole town seems to have... No one knows about this mysterious archaeologist.
It is strange. I mean, people in this town clearly remember us, but they don't remember the person that we were traveling with.
No, and that's the insane part, is it's... And her reaction, when she looked in that room, her eyes glazed over, that was not normal by any stretch of the imagination.
It was very
Listen.
concerning.
She even backtracked on what she said when she kind of started to go. I mean, when I was asking her about, she had said maybe it belonged to her father when he was an adventurer, but then she goes and says that he was an herbalist.
Well, not only
And-
that, why would she have a room that looks very lived in, dedicated to her father, who died in the town she moved away from?
With an apparition that was clearly carrying on some kind of work, or completely backtracking through what had previously been done in that room.
Mm-hmm.
Can Tuk'Tuk, like, even though Tuk'Tuk's not talking that much, can Tuk'Tuk actually make, like, a crime scene board where it has, like, red
You're trying to
attaching?
do the Charlie Day.
Yeah.
Make a sleight of hand check real quick.
Lucky for you, I'm proficient in that.
Tuk'Tuk's
22.
murder board.
Okay, so it's not red string, it's actually silver string that you take from Yai'ral, who uses that same silver string to cast the alarm spell. And you start just making all these little ties and connections to a bunch of different words that you're scribbling on pieces of paper and sticking to the wall with various thumbtacks, knives, push pins, whatever.
Yeah, I just looks over as her wall is becoming a murder board.
You're doing this completely silently. Like,
Like, there's the little drawings of the other band, well, not the bandits, but the people we just, like, visited, but it's, like, there's just, like, an ugly doodle of the, was it Din? Or was it the other guy? Or Gus?
Din, Gus, and Glorbis.
Yeah.
oh my god, I need to commission PB to draw Din, Gus, and Glorbis in the style of Gremlin Leona.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we will post those. They will be posted for people to witness once those are made, because that sounds amazing. Fucking god, Din, Gus, and
Like,
Glorbis.
everybody's, like, drawn normally, except for, like, obviously that one guy who's just very obnoxious. And then I think the one that's, like, pretty, like, I think decently detailed would probably be, was, like, even, what was it called? What was her name?
Judari?
Yeah. Judari's, like,
Judari.
pretty decently drawn.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Judari should be the best drawn out of all of them.
I think it would be wise for us to investigate the crypt. If anything, to speak to Mother Derma about any people who might have recently passed. Might help provide a little bit more insight.
I mainly want to know if she knows anything about Jadari's father.
I somehow doubt it, with the fact that he died down in... It was Rusty Point, right?
Correct.
Considering he died in Rusty Point. Rusty Point's like way south of here, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I believe you guys can click on the world map if you want to.
Oh yeah, Rusty Point's way far south of here.
Yes.
It is...
That's far.
Yeah.
That's a really
Yeah,
far.
it's approximately taking breaks about, like, if you travel only like 12 to 14 hours in a day, that on foot is like a week journey.
Yeah. That's a ways away.
But with this girl's sense of amnesia,
Fair.
we don't know anything more than...
Tuk'Tuk is happy we got paid, but Tuk'Tuk also doesn't understand why we were left almost for dead.
That is the question, isn't it? Part of the mystery that has yet to unfold.
So strange, we don't even know if it was the bandits that tried to kill us or something else.
Well, we'll just have to keep looking for answers. So, once it gets a little cooler, she starts pulling on her armor. Shall we go to see Mother Derma?
Let's also
Well-
bring her a food offering. A to-go box.
Sounds like we need to hit up the rusty tankard again. Maybe we can start betting on who's getting more drunk, Din or Gus.
As entertaining as that would be, I have a prior engagement in the same building, so...
Oh. Meeting with your
Nothing
man
that's-
again?
You're not gonna stop holding this over my head, are you?
No, not
Do
really.
not bring the bagpipe.
Do not bring the back.
I promise I'll leave them at home.
Ah. Well, you
tried
have...
to sneak bagpipes in place once.
I mean, you do play them quite well. When you play them properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like pulls back the curtains and is like, how long till it starts getting cooler?
In this heat, it feels like an eternity.
Ugh. I might take a nap.
What time is it now?
After all that's happened, it's been a couple hours, and opening up your window, there's actually a little kind of fall of mist from the canal up above that does help to cool things down within your room. You feel the outside air. It is getting cooler out there. Sunset is probably about 4 hours away. But it is cool enough that it's not as uncomfortable out there, and the marketplace shops should be reopening pretty soon.
Well, perhaps we should get ready. She puts her
Yes, I
armor
think
back
I'll
on.
head back. I'm going to head back to my room for a little bit.
All right.
Tuk'Tuk is very proud of his little murder wall.
Yeah, Yai finally notices and just like kind of like startles a little bit, like, what the fuck is this? When did you do this?
While we were talking about everything, when we were recapping.
No. Oh, well done.
Thank you.
Gold star.
Alrighty. Should we just meet Golby somewhere after Golby is done with his little errand?
We will meet up at the Rusty Tankard. He can do whatever it is he's gonna do with his man. And then you you can get your offering for Mother Derma, and we can go to the crypt.
Yeah. We can decide on the menu.
Well then, for the next 3 hours, as you all split up to have a little bit of alone time for the first time in a couple days. But what one, maybe two activities that everyone does to relax, unwind, maybe go shopping. We'll start with Golby, because your character is on the furthest to the left on the street.
Oh yes, do tell.
Unless you want to defer to someone else.
Hold on, I'm
Again,
just putting my
Juby,
hair-
hashtag Juby. Everybody in the comments, hashtag Juby.
I think it should be Julby.
Julby.
Jul, because it's Julian, Jul, and then it's Golby, Lby. So
Yeah,
the
Julby.
L kind of meets in the middle, Julby.
Julby.
Julby. Hashtag Julby.
Oh, yeah, so it's like hashtag JULBY, but it's like if there was like a what's it called? Like a little emblem for it, it would be like a jeweled bee or a bedazzled bee. Like
Bedazzled.
jewel bee, you know.
I love it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make a Julby emote.
Yes.
Yeah. A ship is sailing.
I'm sailing away. Set an open course for the virgin seas, because you know we don't want them to be virgins for too long. I've got to be free. So what's
Gotta
Golby
sing
doing?
it. Okay. So Golby is currently in his room, and he's having a wee bit of. Oh my god, the music got so loud. Sorry.
I can turn it down a little bit if you need.
Yeah, I was just like, whoa. But anyways, so Golby's just in his room, just having some alone time, kind of contemplating his outfit and being like just a little bit nervous to talk to Julian.
Some alone time, you say? Hmm.
Yeah, no, he's not playing an away game. Yeah.
Gross.
He's just contemplating.
Does my ass look
I
better
have
in
to, like,
these pants or
process what I
these
just-
pants?
I just
He's
have to
having-
process.
He's just kind of processing and de-escalating.
All right. Wonderful. Yai'ral, what are you doing?
As soon as Golby and Tuk'Tuk are out of the room, the first thing she does is literally go strip her bed and flip the mattress over. Promptly balls up the sheets and stuff, goes downstairs, and asks, she seeing the Harangon, apologies for, well, me. Anyways, is it possible for me to either find a place to wash these or get a new set?
Well, and you see, she was like looking at you, kind of glaring a little bit, but as you say that, her ears kind of part and fall behind her head a little bit, and she like looks a little bit embarrassed about it, and is like, "Well, it's okay. Um, I can take care of them for you. Here, I'll get you another set. Um, and she turns and begins like quickly stepping. You just hear this little pep, 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 as she's like running across the floor, opens the little door, and then you just hear this thud, and like the floor shakes a little bit, and coming over with a new sheet for you. She sets it up on top of the counter and takes the old one.
Thank you. Unfortunately, Mr. Gibertson seems to shed, and I don't want to sleep with that.
And I really didn't need to know that.
Sorry. I have a hard time figuring out where my filters should kick in. I'm still not used to interacting with people on this plane. I'm used to the blunt crassness of other gifts.
Do you smoke?
I have not tried it.
Would you like a cigar? Maybe we could share one in my sitting room.
That sounds nice.
She brings you over to an employees only door that she opens up, and there's like a little love seat, and then like a couch and a desk with a lot of different like ledgers, and there's like a chest behind it. And she goes and opens up the box and pulls out 2 cigars, preps them, lights them, hands one over to you, sits down in the chair it looks soft and plushy. She takes a long drag of the cigar. Well, truthfully, I really fucking hate everybody around here too.
Yai goes from like sitting really stiffly and like holding it unsurely, but as soon as she like says that, Yai just like smiles and it's like, I can understand that. And she like hesitantly does a pull.
Oh my god. Everyone looks at me and always expects, oh, it's the cute little bunny who runs the inn. They don't know the shit that I've been through, how many people I've had to take care of around here.
I can only imagine running an inn.
Well, this wasn't always just an inn.
You seem like you need to chat. Just vent.
Oh, if I vent about the things I want to vent about, then you won't be leaving this room alive.
Fair enough. You
But-
are a very interesting character.
Why, thank you. I would say the same thing about you, Frogface.
One of the nicer things I've been called, honestly.
My name is Smokey. Ignore the irony of smoking cigars. Smokey Stabby, though the work that I did here before, they called me Smokey Stabby.
Mm.
Well, you came back from a very interesting little expedition to the jungle. Came back holding a lot of stuff that you didn't leave with. What was that all about?
Oh, I think you were the one who told us about the bandits who took the places of Din, Gus, and Glorbus.
Yes, it wasn't that hard figuring it out. The dumb ones, not very subtle.
No, he's really not. Anyways, so it's kind of all a huge blur right now, but we woke up middle of the jungle. Fucking disaster around us, and we end up finding those 3 dead. 2 of them heads caved in, the other one's base completely eaten away by, I think, acid.
Ooh, fun.
And so, well, I mean, when you have access to nice things, what was it that Glorbus was saying? Adventure's laws of looting?
Oh, yes. Good old bylaws upon bylaws. Invented after the calamity that ravaged the land.
Calamity?
Oh. Ramdahl used to be way more populated than it is now. Hell, there used to be several different cities supposedly within the desert here, which was not such an unforgiving wasteland. It was a bit more like desert plains. But something happened. A lot of historians say that it was about the time that all the various magical creatures came to this land that everything started to change. And about 90% of the population of Ramdahl died.
That's a substantial amount.
Almost irrecoverable. But then, the thing that killed us all off, 99% of them gone. At least that's what the stories say. I don't really believe any of that shit. I think we just kind of hit the maximum cap of available bodies and
Sustainability.
sustainability based on the amount of resources that this island has. But hey, what do I know? I just run the Dust Bunny Inn.
I feel like the Dust Bunny should have had a different name. Well, would have had a different name before.
That was my idea.
I like
am
it.
the Dust Bunny.
It is a good Dust Bunny. It's creative. Sorry.
Thank you. Well, tell me, what kind of stories do you have about the Astral Sea? I've always wanted to go.
Oh, buckle in.
And the two of you share. The two of you share some stories. A bit more beaten around the bush than yours are, but two of you share a couple more cigars. Relax, be as crass and crude as you want.
Bond over just not fucking caring about people.
And the camera shifts, pulls away, the microphone not being able to hear you anymore, or they turn down the gain, and it moves and maneuvers over to what Tuk'Tuk is doing.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I remember you said you wanted to go to see the jewelry, right?
Ah, yes. That would be
Right down here.
okie dokie. Yeah, I will go there. All right.
As you step inside of this beautiful blue lit room, this octagonal, mostly octagonal chamber filled with gems, jewels, pieces of glass, pieces of like sand blown glass that have this kind of smoky texture to the outside of them. These beautifully blown glass pieces of jewelry, of necklaces, the glass that's encasing these gemstones. It is so glittery and pretty in here.
Tuk'Tuk is like in awe, but he has to restrain himself from having sticky fingers.
As you step inside, there are a few other people in here taking a look at things. They look to be like kind of like butlers, almost. And they're currently, looking over a couple pieces of jewelry, and one of them says, well, we will go and talk to our master and see if he would like to order anything from you for this next upcoming month after this. Thank you for the commission of those rings and earrings for the missus. We will see you next time, Mrs. Bright Moon. Take care. And this, with the yellowy tanned skin, short cropped white hair, this half elf with bright green eyes that almost reflect the light that is running through the ceiling in here. She gives a smile and says, "Oh, yes, but of course. Please, do let me know if there's any other jewelry that I could make for you. Take care." And the two butlers leave, holding a very between the two of them, stepping outside to a horse and carriage before loading it up on there and beginning to head out. Ah, and kind of bowing to you as you come in. "Why, hello there, young master. How may I assist you?"
Tuk'Tuk is like awkwardly like, oh, this is like a really fancy place. Oh my god. Awkwardly bows. Back.
Oh, please, there is no need for that. When you are in my establishment, I am the one who is servicing you.
Okay. So, uh, Tuk'Tuk actually goes kind of near counter table and brings out his little super knife thing. He says, okay. He says, well, I found this knife during one of my adventures. I do know of its capabilities for healing. However, I do need tools for it. I was wondering if there are any of decent price that maybe I could purchase, or if there's any quests or something that I could do to possibly obtain a gem for my.
I see. It is a magical item that needs, I am assuming, gems or jewels to function. What is the requirement of cost for the magic to flow freely through it? As she kind of caresses the hilt of the knife.
Let's see. It needs. Let's see. Knife is limited charges to the number of 100 gold piece jewels in the hilt of the dagger, maximum of 5 at one time. By the spending of one of the jewels, you can cast Cure Wounds at a second level spell. So, would it just be? I could just get. I know what you said that I had like one jewel just as like a freebie.
Yes, the suture knife currently has one 100 gold piece gem in the hilt of it. It can hold 5 at a time, so it has 4 empty slots. And it requires a 100 gold piece worth gem to cast the spell.
Okay, yeah. So,
Oh,
for a platinum piece, how does that convert to gold pieces?
1 platinum is 10 gold pieces.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So it does need a jewel that is at least worth 100 gold pieces.
well, I am sure that I have quite a few that could work for that. Is there any particular color that you would look for? Something that really catches your eye? Something aesthetic? Maybe yellow? Purple?
Like Tuk'Tuk does look at the jewels, but Tuk'Tuk knows that he probably can't afford it yet. Is there a way to work for this jewel instead of possibly paying? Labor instead.
I see. You must be an adventurer. Always looking to save a few coins, aren't you? Well, I do have a small request.
Mhm.
Oftentimes, I lend out jewelry for various, how you say, when people die and they want to look at the body for one last time before cremation. Funeral, yes. For funerals, I lend out jewelry up to Mother Derma. And unfortunately, in her old age, she seems to be getting forgetful of returning several of my pieces. So, if you might be able to assist in retrieving some of these jewelry, various necklaces and rings, then I would be willing to cut you a deal, so they say.
Give me a list of the jewelry you need, and I got you.
Grave robber Tuk'Tuk is about to go insane.
Currently, I have lent out a ruby necklace as well as 2 emerald rings and a pair of sapphire earrings.
Okay. Let me...
And I refuse to lend out anything else, though she has recently asked for an opal tiara, which, while I do have one, that is one I am not willing to lend out without the promise of getting it back properly.
So, a ruby ring.
A ruby necklace, 2 emerald rings, and sapphire earrings.
Do you happen to know the names these jewels were lent out to for these bodies?
I do not pay. I do not pay interest to the petty squabblings of those who have lost people. I am just here to make them look their best before they are sent along and their spirits properly rested into the afterlife.
Okay. I will keep an eye out for these, and thank you so much. This little task. I'll get done with it shortly.
Oui, and I shall expect your return, young master.
Are we going grave robbing? What?
We're just gonna go fucking grave robbing. Let's go.
In the meantime, would you like to pick and choose what kind of gem or gems you would like to place into your wonderful dagger hilt? Any particular colors, cuts, styles? Feel free to browse
Very,
with me.
I very much like the purple. Very shiny.
Well, I have plenty of purple ones right over here. And she kind of pulls you along, and even brings out a little step stool for you to step up and look into the glass cases where all the different, like, jewelry are and different gemstones, both raw and cut. And kind of gives you an explanation of how many of these gemstones can be found by simply sifting through the desert sands.
I will keep that in mind.
And as your talk concludes,
sun begins to set. The wonderful cold air of the night blows through, and the heat of the day melts away into just the perfect temperature right at sunset as you all head into the Rusty Tankard. I will say it is currently it's almost 11:45. Do we want to call things here, or do we want to have that conversation with Julian before we end things off?
Or do you want to have that be like the opening of the
Or do we want that to be the opening of the next time? What are
I
we all
say-
feeling?
I say we wait until next time, and we leave the viewers in suspense for that Julby action.
You must wait for the Julby action.
Ooh, such a tease. Well, then, thank you all for joining us this session. Next
Yeah.
week, we are going to be taking a break as it is the last of the month. I have a different campaign that I usually run on that day, though.
It's also
Some
Easter.
weird, funky things. It's also Easter.
Happy Zombie
We
Jesus Day in a
will-
week in advance.
We will notify the Discord, so stay up to date on the Discord. We'll post notifications,
Yep.
letting you guys know what's happening on the 31st. But we will see all of you for the Gates of Ramdahl on April 7th.
Yes,
Will be our next
indeed.
session.
I hope you guys look forward to it. Yay for fun times. That was honestly that session was a lot of laughing. That was fun.
I just realized I see that tag and shit. They peeked on stream.
I'm like, I can't wait for Yai'ral and Glorbus to start interacting. more.
You're shipping them now.
So would it be Yaibis or Glorbal?
I want it to be Yaibis.
They've had one conversation, but no, they gotta get together. Gotta hook them up.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
We got to make the grandson incredibly jealous that Grandpa pulled the baddest bitch in the land.
Hashtag Gus
it.
forever alone.
Hashtag Gus has no rights, no bitches.
Nothing. Fucking nothing.
Hashtag no to Gus.
Okay, well, before we rate out, so we are done with our events in game. Joe, would you like to enlighten our viewers as to the story and origins of Din, Gus, and Glorbus?
Okay, yeah, no, I
Yes.
need to know about this too, because I was not here.
I feel like this is a good little story time before we completely end out.
Can the music still be heard on stream? Because I can get some amazing music for this.
Yes, it can still be heard on stream. I believe. It should be able to be. I think as long as I have the window open, it should be hearable.
Oh, that is not what I thought that would be. Here we go.
I can't hear anything yet, so I don't know if that's just because it's waiting.
Well, I'm playing it.
I shall begin my explanation.
I think it can barely
the
pick it up,
origin.
but yes.
So, Din, Gus, and Glorbis all started off mildly as a joke. I was over hanging out with Akuma and Kibi, and we just, for shits and giggles, were doing some character creation and talking about one of their campaigns that they had currently been running.
Oh, it was specifically
Um,
we were making hardcore quote unquote D&D characters, and we thought we would just make them, I believe, was the what we were doing. We're like, hey, you want to roll a hardcore character, see what we get?
yeah, just for shits and giggles. And
Yep.
so the first one that we designed was Sir Glorbis Strange. And basically, we just were doing the roles and the character creation and things, and we accidentally created a really viable character. And so then Kibi and Akuma both decided that they would just for shits and giggles make some random characters, and they both created these half elves. And Glorbis is a full elf. And so Din is this paladin half elf. And oh god, what was Gus again? What was his
He was a
Gus is a
He's a druid.
criminal druid.
He's a criminal druid.
Yes, he's a criminal druid. And he's really, really bad at it. And Glorbis
Zero dexterity.
yeah, he was the least viable in some aspects, but he's still not terrible.
No, he's not the worst
He
we've
had
ever
wisdom.
rolled.
He had good wisdom,
Yeah, he
which
had
is
good
really
wisdom.
all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just kind of bad at his life. And Glorbis is this old soldier elf who became a monk and has the ability, like, what was his abilities? It's like shadows and things. Yes.
Way of Shadows monk.
Way of Shadows monk. He's a Way of Shadows monk.
Which I
And so,
demonstrated a little bit in our session, having the ability to teleport from shadow to shadow.
Yep.
yes, and popping up behind Golby to scare the crap out of him. After he decided to make some smart remarks about Yai'ral and
Himself.
Glorbis.
Who needs an enema when you have shadow step scaring?
Gross. Oh my god. I think the funniest thing that we developed between, especially Gus and Glorbis, is the fucking.
Yes.
He is so terrible at being a thief, and fucking Glorbis always catches him and smacks him upside the fucking head.
Yeah, oh god, what was the trait that Glorbis was really, really high in?
Perception.
Yeah, very perceptive.
Yes. He had really good perception. And so he just has this keen sense of when his grandson is being a little shit and like doing stuff he's not supposed to. And so like he always is just like behind Gus, either ready to tell him to put something down or just smack him. And
Oh,
he'll just appear in Gus's shadow and just stop him from doing dumb shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Din is kind of just like this golden child. And like just watches her brother do stupid shit. The other thing is Din and Gus were separated. And Gus, I believe, lived with the dad, yes?
Yes.
So the elven mother got with a human piece of shit guy and got pregnant with twins. I believe they are twins.
Yes, they are twins.
Yes, Din and Gus are twins.
So got pregnant with twins, and Glorbis and a few of the other elves were just like, this human, listen, we don't hate him because he's a human, we hate him because he's a piece of shit. Get him the fuck out of here. And so when they got a divorce, he took Gus and him the ways of being a skeevy little fuck, and Din got raised by the elves.
Yeah.
In the kind of nicer family.
Mm-hmm.
Being
And then-
raised to be a thief, but be raised so badly, obviously he didn't.
Oh man, yeah, you've got this amazing natural nature magic, and you're so in tune with animals and the forest, and you'd make an amazing druid. So go pickpocket that guy's wallet while I watch. Okay, Dad, I got this. The one time that Gus succeeded at stealing something was by getting a fucking mouse to do it for him.
Honestly, the fact that in the next session that we're doing, honestly, I'm gonna just show him how it's done to just by example robbing graves.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god, Tuk'Tuk and Gus robbing graves is gonna go fucking insane.
I mean, if you invite them, you can invite them to rob graves with you.
Tuk'Tuk is going to invite Gus to rob graves with them.
I don't think I like made the comment on it, but 100% like Tuk'Tuk remembers him Gus calling him a child. So he remembers. He will never forget.
He's gonna invite just to be like, you fucked up, man.
Who's the child now?
He's the inexperienced little fuck.
Tuk'Tuk is the master now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get a little extra something because none of us are healers, obviously. And I didn't expect myself to be like, man, I'm gonna go grave robbing in order to heal my friends.
That's amazing. All right. Well, with that, we have shared the backstory of Din, Gus, and Glorbis, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks for the next session. I might do a stream before then, something else. I got time this week that I'll probably do something. Not sure when, so keep an eye on the Discord. That's all I can say, really. I think we'll read out to Dat. He's playing Bigfoot, which sounds hilarious. As people who live in the Pacific Northwest. Because that's like one of the myths around here. Alright. Let's see. I can do the correct command. Oh my god. It would help if I did it in the right channel. Oh my god. Alright. Yeah, we'll read Dad's. He's playing games. We'll have fun. We'll see you guys back here. I do think we will be back on Easter, potentially. Kibby and I might start a new Animal Crossing island together.
Yeah.
So, for any...
I mean, that's happening whether or not we're playing D&D.
Yeah, that'll...
It's just what time it happens.
Yeah, that'll depend on whether we're playing D&D or not. If we're not playing D&D, we'll probably do it later in the day. Otherwise, we'll just do it earlier. One way or the other, next Sunday, we will be doing something fun for Easter in the form of me and Kibby starting a new island on Kibby's Switch. So that'll be fun.
I'll add you guys on my Switch. Holy crap.
Yes.
You could have been visiting my island. Oh my god. Take my DIYs.
I literally like fired up Animal Crossing the other day because I wanted to play, and then got on and I was like, I don't actually know what I want to do because I've already completed like all the museum stuff, and I was in the middle of renovating my island and I couldn't remember what the fuck I was doing, so I just kind of like got on and immediately lost inspiration to play because I'm like, I don't know what I want to be doing, so.
All right, so we're about to raid out. Goodbye, everybody.
Yep.
We love you. See you next time.
Yes, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.